Hey, this is Kat at Kattalestv. I've been covering Dancing with the Stars for the last couple, 2 weeks. And I don't have much time to do the normal things that I did before. So I'm going to do this little update that I was thinking about. Sometimes while I'm doing something, I'm thinking about something else in the back of my mind and I get an idea. But these are some of the key points that the new lawyers need to deal with in the Tory Lanez case. I'm not an expert on appeals, but these are things that stuck in my mind recently because I was talking to an ex-police officer. And one of the things Kathy Todd did, besides hypnotize the jury, she came out of the gate saying that this case was a domestic violence case. Now, she called Tory Lanez a domestic violent person. And George M., the original personal injury attorney, who was a bull in a china shop, in my opinion, he never countered that. So that sucked into the jury's mind. They perceived Tory Lanez as a domestic violent abuser. It was never countered by any means. Now, of course, Megan denied the relationship with Tory to the media as well as Gayle King, and I believe she actually helped to taint the jury because she was running around not only on Gayle King but on social media, using all the connections that Rock Nations had to promote her narrative, okay? Meanwhile, Tory had a gag order for 2 years. And they try to make it sound like Tory was running his mouth and spreading rumors and harassing Megan, blah, blah, blah. And the actuality, it was just the opposite. The other thing I want to say is, I'm reading notes. These are several notes, but you need to look up the definition of domestic violence. And normally it involves an intimate partner and a pattern of behavior in any relationship that is used to gain or maintain power and control. I'm trying to read my sloppy handwriting. Yeah, and control over an intimate partner. And I said this before, Megan denied the relationship on Gayle King, and so I wanted to keep asking you, who really had the power in the relationship? In my opinion, Megan went from one person to another to get more clout. For instance, she latched on to Nicki Minaj with the song. She latched on to Cardi B after she latched on to Rihanna for Fenty, and then Rihanna fired her. But in my opinion, Megan goes from one successful person, uses them, and then goes to another, much like an Amber Heard. So if we have our information correct, Megan was sleeping with DaBaby, Justin Edison, Tory Lanez, and possibly Kelsey Harris, her assistant, because if you saw the video that was 3 days before the actual shooting, alleged shooting, Megan is in a pool with Kelsey Harris and they're being extremely sexual with each other. I've never in my life touched a woman like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I've never touched a man in a pool like that who wasn't my boyfriend. So again, who had the power? And that goes in tandem with the domestic violence thing. It's like, in my opinion, Megan Thee Stallion was the abuser. Number 2, why are Megan's lies acceptable and okay? I don't understand this. And why does she get special treatment? She got special treatment in the media. She got special treatment with the police. She lied to the arriving officers. She said she stepped on glass. Somehow they didn't know she was shot. The EMTs didn't know she was shot. When she went into the ER, they didn't say she was shot. They said it was glass. Somehow days later, another medical report said that it was bullet fragments. But she was able to lie on Gayle King, she was able to lie on social media, and she benefited from the Me Too movement, obviously. And we need to think about facts, not emotional testimony. And one of the things that lawyer said on Legal as F, he talked about the jury in regards to one of the Trump mini cases going on. You know, by the way, Trump has 91 felonies that I know of that are he's accused of, right? And there's at least 3 or 4 or 5 cases going around. It's so many and I can't keep up. But one of the things Michael Popak, that's what his name is, Michael Popak said on Legal AF was, when you have these long trials, you have to get the jury to be on your side, and you really have them in the first week. They already made their decision. Unfortunately, Tory's case was literally like 10 days. So you have to imagine if you're a juror and all you've heard for the last 2 years is that Megan was shot by some thugs, by some rap dude. And then you're in court and you see all these people. Some are dressed very scantily in the courtroom. They're acting, some, not all. And I'm talking about the bloggers, okay? I'm not talking about necessarily Tory's entourage. Like, in other words, his specific entourage that actually were interested in him being free. But what I'm saying is, if you're seeing people act the fool in the courtroom as well as in the hallway, that's sticking in your head as a juror. Also listening to Kattalestv use her hypnotic trance, her Tadaism, her magical wand to say certain things that weren't countered by a very, I want to say unprofessional lawyer. And also, I don't know, he's a personal injury person, not a criminal defense person. So in my opinion, George was out of his game. He shouldn't have been there. But the point is, if you allow the prosecution to throw in things like, oh, he's a domestic abuser, and all these things without actually raising an objection, you've damaged your client. You really have. And beyond Sean Hawley abandoning Tory 2 weeks before the trial, George did a shitty job. And it was like a dog in a pony show, and he wasn't prepared. And I don't know what the big guy that was with him was doing, except looking intimidating and scary. They looked like mob guys. You gotta understand, the jury is looking at Tory as a person who shot Megan Thee Stallion. They believe that. So if a lawyer goes into court who looks kind of scary, an Armenian type of gangster, and his partner looks like an even bigger Armenian gangster, and you gotta understand something, I'm not racist, I'm trying to show you the picture of what these dudes look like. And then you have Tory, a smaller person who doesn't take the stand. They're looking at him as a little mob boss. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? A guy with a Napoleon complex. But again, the prosecution or the prostitution of law did an excellent job of painting the picture to the jury that Tory was guilty. All right, number 3, where's the fucking evidence? There's no gun, there's no bullets, there's no fragments. The chain of custody of the evidence. Who was responsible, and why wasn't that even brought up in court? How could George or anyone miss the fact that They lost the evidence, conveniently. With all the shoddy fucking things in that case, they lost the evidence on top of that, and Kattalestv said Tory's DNA didn't matter, even though he gave his DNA for the gun. And they did not test Kelsey or Megan because Megan lied at the felony stop. So that should be a red herring right there. How can a client get, how can he have a fair trial if all the evidence is missing and he's given his DNA? Doesn't make any sense. So let's go to number 4. Yeah, I said that actually. Number 4 was, how could Tory Lanez or anyone else, for that matter, get a fair trial if all the evidence was missing and he gave his DNA and it doesn't matter? That was number 4. Number 5, Megan's story changed at least 3 times in the manner of which she was shot. She'd been drinking for at least 5 hours. First she said, I think he shot her from the outside, then from the inside, then from standing on something. It's all a mess. I don't understand how, again, no facts, just changing story. Number 6. Oh, I can't even say that because I don't want to give that away. You have to trust me on this. I have something that could possibly help the case, but I can't say it now because I know people on the other side are watching it. So, number 7, ask for doctor's x-ray from a legitimate one, yeah. So in other words, I still don't know if Megan was shot in the foot or feet or whatever. Can we get actual evidence of her injuries, all the doctor's notes, and also what were her nerve damage? She said she suffered, nerve damage, yet she was running on Cardi B's reality TV show thing, whatever the hell she did, on a football field. She was dancing soon after the incident happened. She was twerking, and somehow that video got erased. The one where she was twerking soon after the shooting, like 2 days after. But there's pictures of her wearing heels, dancing in pools, all kinds of stuff. And also she's in that movie, Dix the Musical, where she's dancing on all fours. And I'd like to know the dates of when Dix the Musical was actually shot, because they seem to be hiding that online. But if you're able to dance on all fours and you've been shot in the foot or a ricochet and you had severe nerve damage, how is that? And are you on pain medication? Can we see your doctor's prescription? I mean, Tory's lawyers really sucked. Number 8, what? Oh yeah, that's what, one of the injuries. Talking about the injuries. I need to know her injuries. Because also, if you guys don't remember, when I was in court during the trial, there was sometimes it'd be in the back, and there is a woman that sometimes would end up sitting next to me, and every time the prosecution got like a win, like they got something that made Tory look bad, she would flick her foot in excitement. And then I found out on that last trial date, well, whatever you call it, the hearing, where they were trying to get Tory bail so he could fight for an appeal, she showed up late, and then I found out she is the attorney for Megan the Stallion suing Tory civilly. So, my philosophy on this is, if in fact Megan has the balls to sue Tory civilly, then his lawyer needs to go after her hardcore, unlike the personal injury attorney, George M. Alright, number 9, it's pretty much, I've said some of this stuff before, but we need to know the specific nerve damage and what other issues that she has sustained. Number 10, this case was about emotional manipulation and no facts. The only person who said that Tory Lanez shot Megan was Megan. who changed her story 3 times, who also lied that he was her lover. And Kathy Ta kept saying her sex life wasn't an issue. Of course it's a fucking issue. If you're fucking your bodyguard, and your bodyguard's bragging about having 4 guns in a video, and you can look that up on YouTube if you haven't seen it. Megan's in Turkey and Caicos with Justin Edison, his girlfriend, as well as other people in the pool, and her hairdresser. I believe he's her hairdresser. But anyway, Justin pulls out a gun because he's high, and he's singing WAP in the gun. And then he mentions, there's 2 men's voices, so I don't know if one of them was the hairdresser or not, but he talks about how many guns he has. It sounds like one says he's got 2 guns or one's got 4, but Megan could have easily gotten a gun from any of these guys, especially if she's having sex with her bodyguard. I mean, the other thing about Megan has the audacity to sleep with people in the face of the person's girlfriend or lover. She doesn't give a fuck. I think she gets off on it like it's kind of a rush thrill knowing that she's fucking somebody behind your back. Like, that's some wicked ass shit. So anyway, number 11, attack the investigation. Who's responsible for the lost evidence? What happens normally in a crime scene? What happens to the evidence? When specifically did the evidence get lost, and who? You got to sign it out. Like, who's the last person that signed in and out all that evidence? You got to understand, the fragments from Megan's foot are missing too, besides the gun and the shell casings and the bullets. And in normal trial, you'd be able to make sure that the bullets match and the shell casings match and the fragments from Megan's foot match. But you can't do that because all the evidence is missing. What kind of fucking case is this shit? I really don't understand. They must think everyone's fucking stupid. And number 12. Does Megan Thee Stallion drink excessively? Is she an alcoholic? Does she have drinking issues? Is she the type of person that could make up a story? Why would her testimony be believed? If she's been drinking for 5 hours in the hot sun and 3 days before she's drunk in a pool, and even in Turks and Caicos after she gets shot, she's okay with her bodyguard who she's fucking singing into a gun that I would assume is loaded. Was there any adults like actually looking at the facts of this case? Because this is embarrassing. This is a really embarrassing case. And number 13, why the lies about the fight with Kelsey? Isn't that perjury? The other thing is, because I'm going to wrap it up, I've been talking too long, what is the relationship between Kelsey and Megan? Because what I found really weird and telling is some of these bloggers, like Crystal Nicole, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but they were like, oh, it's normal. They were just having fun. They were all fucking around. That's what normal people do. I don't do that. I mean, and when I was in college, yeah, we were experimenting and stuff like that, but no, I wasn't having long relationships with my friends, partners, and lying to them in their face. You know what I mean? It's not cool. And it's not something that garners good relationships and friendships. And I don't understand what happened to people where they think it's okay to be sleeping with your best friend who did your homework in college to help you pass. The person who left their job to help you be successful, and you've slept with 3 people that she was involved with. Who would work for somebody like that? So again, I want to ask you, who had the power? Who was the abuser? I do not believe it was Tory. I believe, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube court, Megan Thee Stallion was the domestic abuser. She is the guilty party. In my opinion, allegedly. This is Kattalestv in the hot sun of Dancing with the Stars. I hope that Tory's new lawyers come out with some really good stuff. And again, you guys, if you want to understand like law, check out that, I think it's Michael Popak on Legal AF on Midas Touch. Really, really excellent. Excellent. I wish I was as good as he is, but I'm not a lawyer. But I just want you guys to think differently and understand the law and understand the professionalism that has to be there if you go to court. Because so many people who went to court were not professionals. It doesn't matter if you're a blogger or you're a fan of Tory's. Not saying that the majority of the fans were bad. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the bloggers, the so-called bloggers who are acting a fool and letting their kids run around and dress inappropriately. Tory's fighting for his life. He was fighting for his life then, he just didn't know it. It's the wrong time to be a narcissistic psychopath when someone's looking at 22 years or 10 years or any years. And for so many people to think it's normal to be in prison for black people, that is a travesty. You need to change your mindset. I don't think it's normal. My friends aren't in prison. You know what I'm saying? None of my family members are in prison. I wouldn't want anyone to be in prison. It's not normal. I wouldn't want to be around people like a lot of the people that were in the courtroom. Those would never be my friends because it just seems a lot of real cruelty and not knowing what real friendship is, not knowing what care is. A lot of just trauma and abuse cycles played out over and over again. And for somebody like Snake Girl to think that somebody would want to be her friend, who she literally says to them, I fucked my friend's father and boyfriend because she told me I need help. That's what Snake Girl said. Who would want to be close to a person like that? I haven't seen so much toxicity till I went to a nuclear plant. You know what I'm saying? It's like I work on myself a lot, okay? It's an ongoing thing. But I'm just saying, as a human being, what I saw, what I heard is heartbreaking because I want better for us. I want better for you. I want you to have the kind of relationship where you feel loved, heard, and trusted, and vice versa. You can't have friends that are sleeping with your partners. You can't have relationships like that. It destroys the bonds of friendship, family, all kinds of things. And everything starts with one person. So if you're in a toxic relationship, if you start seeing signs of being around someone who's constantly getting high or drunk or abusive, get out. Because you don't want to end up like Tory Lanez. This is Kat at Kattalestv signing off. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. And if you can donate, please do, because I need it. I need a better gym. Planet Fitness has got too many people that don't clean that place, and it's open 24 hours. There's dust everywhere in the corners, and girls on the phone in the bathroom talking, live streaming and stuff, and just bad manners. I need a better gym. All right, thanks. Bye. Oh, leave a comment down below.